So I just found an interesting little topic that I wanted to talk about. It's pertaining to R&B. So it should be known that most people probably view R. Kelly as the undisputed king of R&B. And when you think about like how he sings, the hits he's made, the hits he's written for other artists, um, it's hard to really argue against that. But putting him aside, out of these five men here, Usher, Chris Brown, Neo, Mario, and Amarion, who would you think is the king of R&B, or more so, who's the current king of R&B? If you look at R. Kelly as the one during the '90s and 2000s, I'm not gonna sit and act like I've listened to the entire like discography of all these guys. I haven't even really listened to the entire discography of R. Kelly, if I'm being honest. But out of this group, the ones I've listened to the most would be Chris Brown, Usher, and then Amarion. Now, Omarion is the weak link of the group because he's not that great of a singer. He can't carry songs vocally and with seasoned sauce like these other guys. These other guys can really sing their ass off. I know a lot of people will probably say Chris Brown because, oh, Chris Brown had hits since he was 16 or whatever the case may be. And while there is an argument to be made about that, listening to him on a radio or watching music videos and he having his little hits or his little features and things like that, and actually sitting down and listening to the entirety of his albums and then going to his shows and watching his shows and all that kind of stuff is a whole nother kind of discussion. And me personally, if we're talking about like the albums, I haven't heard all his albums. There's some of the most recent ones I still haven't listened to, but I've listened to pretty much all his albums up until like I think Heartbreak on the Full Moon. I think is one I didn't listen to yet. I don't think I listened to Indigo yet, or 1111 I think it's called. But I've listened to Brown obviously and the other ones, Royalty and things like that. Chris Brown definitely has hits across all his albums, right? And he have hits that really do hit and really do bang. But artistically, if we talk about albums, I can't give it to him because in my opinion, Chris Brown does not have a classic album. People may disagree if they hear that. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? If you think Chris Brown has even more than one classic album, that's cool. Let me know what that album is and what songs make it that, or what is those songs? What does that album mean to you? What did it mean to you when it came out? That kind of stuff. But Chris Brown is good as far as still being relevant, still being able to put out hits, still be able to have people talk about him musically. And he's a great artist. I'm not taking that away from him. He's a damn great performer. But the albums, they need work because we don't need 50 songs of album. I don't care how cold you think you are. People say, "Oh, Chris Brown is exactly who you think he is." No bueno. Now when you're releasing 50 albums, 50 songs on an album that really should only be about 10 songs. We're going to keep talking about this until people understand that he does not need to have 27 to 50 songs on an album. I don't care about the streaming and we don't need all that, right? But he doesn't have a classic album in my opinion. Usher has classic albums. Confessions and albums that came before Confessions minus his first album, I guess, because it's so different from Usher's body of work overall. Most definitely, a lot of people probably consider those all classics. And those era of Usher's, those songs still get played on the radio. I'm not saying Chris Brown don't still have stuff to get played on the radio, but it's different when it's Usher, right? In my opinion, Usher clears this whole group just off Confessions alone. Neo definitely would probably be like second runner up to R. Kelly in terms of writing so many hits for so many great, you know what I'm saying, singers and stuff. And Neo got a great voice too. I haven't really listened to enough of Neo to really say. I'd give the edge to Usher because Usher's that dude, like personally. Mario's also a really strong ass singer. Like he definitely has the vocal chops. He has some hits, but he don't really got much going on, I feel like. And I haven't listened to anything like current that he's got out, if he's got anything out current to really put him into the mix. And then he got Omarion. I actually listened to Omarion a good bit. I know he's definitely one of the ones where it's like not many people really vibe with him other than like the B2K stuff. But post B2K, Omarion has some great songs. He has some great songs, and it's not just supposed to be and things like that. It's not just Icebox and Touch. He got some good songs. Sex Playlist, the boy was going off. The Connection, you know, that the album that came out during the time where Fizz was with April Jones and all that kind of stuff. He was cooking on that album, in my opinion. I haven't listened to his newest stuff, but y'all sleeping on Omarion. He may not be the one you go to when you really want somebody who's going to really sing and do his thing. But if you want somebody who's going to still make some good songs that'll make you feel, like, especially if you're a woman, right? You want to feel sexy. You want to feel like, oh, the man is putting it on me. Put on Omarion. Sex Playlist, I'm telling you. I'd give the edge to Usher, right? I'd give the edge of Usher straight up. Because even if you take out the other three, Neo, Mario, and Omarion, and you just go Usher, Chris Brown, which is a common versus battle between the two, even if you could make an argument that Chris Brown has more hits in terms of the number of the hits, how many of Chris Brown's hits, I'll say, how many of Chris Brown's hits hit the way Usher's hits? Because Usher's hits hit. What the, bro? I'm gonna keep saying this. Confessions alone clears Chris Brown's career. I'm sorry. Oh no, yes, bro. Confessions, it clears this whole group of guys. Period, in my opinion. But then you got 8701. You got My Way, things like, bro. Usher is really that dude. Like, y'all gotta stop sleeping on Usher. We're not talking about dancing and all that kind of stuff because, in my opinion, Usher is not really that great of a dancer like people try to make him out to be. Like, I remember Kevin on Stage, shout out to Kevin on Stage, he had like a little thing where it was Michael Jackson, Usher, Chris Brown, and Marion, and he took out Marion. The other, like, as the one that you would take out. I don't know what y'all was talking, what y'all was smoking on, or where y'all paying attention, but back in Omarion's prime, Omarion was cooked. There was nothing Usher ever did in any point in time in his career dancing that touches what Omarion was doing. Just saying. But like I said, Usher smooth with it. Just the reality is he's not that great as y'all think. Like he could be pretty smooth, but he ain't like, you know, like Chris. Of course, Chris Brown destroys all of them. But there was a point in time where Omarion was that guy, and nobody was touching Omarion, not even Chris Brown. But Chris Brown didn't greatly surpass him. And another thing I want to say, a backflip is not a dance move. So him and Omarion going at it, and then he did that backflip on beat. That is cold. That is solidified. But that's not a dance move. Neo don't really dance. You know what I'm saying? Mario, as far as I'm concerned, don't really dance, but they sing. They're going to bring the vocals, right? They're going to bring the vocals. I feel like Usher's vocals can compete with theirs, but he could also dance. And he got, like, he just got hits that they just bang. What can I say? But yeah, y'all let me know out of these guys who you would think would be the modern king of R&B. Surely there's got to be people who's not going to just say Chris Brown, because I'm sure there's people who probably would say Neo or Mario. Some might even say Omarion. Some might most definitely probably say Usher. But y'all let me know what y'all think, and yeah, we're gonna leave it there.